So hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the next video in the Learn Tarot with Me series. And in this video we're going to be talking about the major arcana card of the Magician, which is the number 1 card. Okay, so in the last video we had a look at the Fool, right, and we spoke about in quite some depth what the Fool means, to me, and I kind of looked at the illustrations on the card, etc. And we're going to do the same with the Magician. So, first off the bat, I feel as though the first thing I should mention about the Magician is that sometimes when this card comes up, it is simply that there is some kind of trickster energy in your life, that there is some kind of manipulative person in your life. So the Magician can be a person and it can be a manipulative person, okay? It's that idea of trickery and somebody pulling the wool over your eyes, yeah? So if we think of the meaning of a magician, we know that most of the time a regular magician that you're seeing on stage is performing tricks, right? So they're performing illusions. It's not actually real. And so that energy is also held by the magician. This can be a card of tricks and illusion and somebody trying to manipulate you. So I thought I'd get that out of the way first because that really felt like I needed to say. I felt like that was quite important to say about this card because even though it's a major arcana card, even though it's a card which has many more meanings than just that, I do feel that a lot of the time when this card comes up in readings for me, it can be warning or alluding to that trickster kind of energy, okay? So the Magician card is number 1 major arcana, and the number 1 is significant again. The number 1 symbolises the manifestation quality of the spark that we saw in the Fool. So the Fool was the 0, and there was that spark of intention, that spark of free will. The Magician is the 1, and this is when that free will and that intention begins to be manifest into the world. Okay? The Magician's hands are in the formation of as above, so below. Okay? So again, that speaks to manifestation. It's like above, i.e. the heavens, or i.e. in our psyche, is that initial intention of will, right? I want this or I want that. As below is when that will is put into the earthly realms, okay? So ultimately, the Magician is the card of manifestation. The Magician is the card of when what we want begins to be manifest on the earth. But then, the phrase, be careful what you wish for, comes to mind. And again, that ties in with the idea of illusion and with the idea of trickery that this card also holds. Because sometimes the things that we want, sometimes the things that we put a lot of effort into trying to manifest, may not necessarily be good for us, okay? And all of that is packed up in this card. So I'm always a little bit suspicious of vision boards, and my understanding of law of attraction is slightly different to perhaps what used to be the mainstream understanding of it. My understanding is that, you know, no matter how many vision boards you put out there detailing exactly what it is that you want, what the universe actually listens to is that spark, that intention that you hold within you, and it will deliver that. So if you put a vision board out about all these lovely things that you want, but in your heart you don't feel worthy of those things, then what comes through is obviously going to be a little bit messed up, okay? All of that energy is encompassed by this Magician, right? So the Magician is about manifestation, but it's also about the illusion that can come with that manifestation. It's also about the trickiness involved in manifesting what it is that we actually want. Okay, so the Magician card is heavily layered, right? What else is important to note about the Magician is that if you look at this table here, he has one of every of the suits. So he has a cup, he has a pentacle, he has a sword, he has a wand. And this is saying very clearly that he has kind of everything at his disposal to make things happen for himself, but also in order to make things happen for himself, he needs to use every one of those things. So we haven't gone into talking about the suits yet, but we will do. In shorthand, he has the cups, which symbolises emotion. He has the pentacles, which symbolises money, the real world, tangible things. Sword, which symbolises thought and intellect. And the wand, which symbolises creativity. Okay, so this magician, you know, he has the full works at his disposal in order to make things happen in life. So when this card comes up in a reading, it's a reminder that you have everything that you need to manifest what it is that you want. It's a reminder to be careful about what it is that you're asking for and to make sure that it aligns with the spirit that's within your heart, as above, so below. Above his head, we have this infinity symbol, which is just highlighting the nature of life, okay? The nature of things being birthed, the nature of things dying, the nature of things being never ending and cyclical. So the Magician is a very, 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 very powerful card in the deck, but its power can be double-edged if we're not sure about what it is that we want and if we're not aligned to our higher calling. So whenever I see the Magician, I'm always a little bit also heeding its warning. Okay, either it's warning in terms of a person around me being a bit manipulative, or it's warning of me manipulating and not being true to myself. So the Magician is a deep card. But I hope that's given you more of an understanding of the Magician. I think also if we look at this in terms of the energy that we put out into the world, we do this to ourselves a lot, like I just kind of said. We manipulate ourselves a lot. We delude ourselves a lot. So whenever I see the Magician, it's always a warning to be really honest and really clear with ourselves about what it is that we want. Okay, so that was a deep dive into the Magician. Next week, we will look at the next card in the Major Arcana. If you want to check out my blog in the meantime for a bit of a written account, then the details are below. And I'll see you next week. Bye.